All right, we're going to call the Scappoose Planning Commission meeting to order now. This is Thursday.
Bill, point of order. We need to have Scott call the meeting to order.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No worries.
So I will call this meeting to order, and because I'm not in the room, I would ask that our vice chair take over running the meeting tonight.
That's fine. Now I can take it over.
Please do.
Thank you, Scott. Okay. What we're looking at is Thursday, May the 25th, 2023, 7 p.m. Meeting is now called to order by the chair. Roll call, start from my left.
Monica Allers,
Shoemaker.
Bill Blank.
Arlo Vernwald,
Anybody else out there? And
Scott Jensen,
Marissa Jacobs.
that's it. Okay. Is there any approval of the minutes, which is April the 27th in 2023? Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes? Does anybody have any changes or questions about the minutes at all?
I've reviewed them. I have no changes.
What was that again?
I've reviewed them. I have no changes.
No changes. Well, hearing none, I make a motion, approval by a second, we approve the minutes.
seconded.
Okay, motion made and second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. Now, we're here. Okay, any citizen input that is not pertaining to what's on the agenda this evening? Any person by either email person who has been in the room wish to speak in front of the commission? Hearing from none, move over to 5.0, which is new business. And from there, go ahead and make the statement, I guess. First of all, I'll read the statement and then I'll go on the next thing here. This is a quasi judicial hearing statement. It's to be read by me. I am calling this public meeting, or public hearing, I should say, to order to consider an application for a type 2 home occupation permit. The procedure for this hearing will follow the strict format. Testimony and evidence must address the criteria that apply to the decision and as described in the staff report, or to the criteria the person testifying believes that is applied to the decision. Persons may speak only after being recognized by the chair, must come forward to the microphone, must state their names and the city for the record. Failure to raise or clarify an issue to afford all parties an opportunity to respond to the issue precludes appeal to the Land Use Board of Appeals based on the issue. Planning Commission will conduct this hearing in a quasi-judicial capacity. In other words, like a court trial where the Planning Commission serves as the finders of fact. Does anyone or does any planning commissioner have a wish to declare an ex parte contact or a conflict of interest regarding this matter?
No.
No?
Nope.
No? Okay. Does any party wish to challenge any commissioner's impartiality or legal capacity to participate in this matter? Hearing none. The order of the hearing will be the staff report, then the applicant's presentation, then other proponents, then opponents, then rebuttal by the applicant, then a staff response. Therefore, the hearing thereafter, the hearing will be closed for consideration of the matter by the commission. The decision of the Planning Commission can be appealed to City Council. That is a statement. Now with that, we've asked you about all the other stuff. Okay, so I think we are ready to go to the staff presentation.
Thank you very much. Good evening, commissioners. Thank you all for taking the time to be here tonight. I'll begin by going over the observations of the staff report that start on the bottom of page 8, of your packets. I will then list the relevant approval criteria for the proposed development and let you know which pages correspond to the findings of each chapter of the Scappoose Municipal and Development Codes. Lastly, I will let you know staff's recommendation and our recommended conditions of approval. After that, we will pause in case there are any questions for staff before getting into the applicant's presentation. So starting with the staff report, which begins on page 8 of your packets. Subject site. Subject site consists of an approximately 0.32 acre parcel of land that is currently occupied by a single family residence. In each direction of the subject site are single-family homes. The subject site and all surrounding properties are zoned low-density residential or R1 and are designated as suburban residential on the comprehensive plan map. Requested approval. The city may authorize small-scale business ventures in general commercial zones upon issuance of a permit for a type 1 home occupation, which specifies that there is no evidence that the business is being conducted from the premises, or a type 2 home occupation, which may show evidence that a business is being conducted from the premises. The applicant has requested a type 2 permit to authorize a hair salon business so that customers may come to the site. The applicant proposes to locate the hair salon in an approximately 170.5 square foot room in the northeast corner of the home's daylight basement. Customers of the hair salon will have access to the adjacent bathroom as well. Other than the salon room and the bathroom, no other areas of the home will be used for the purposes of the home occupation. The proposed home occupation is likely to have little impact on the neighboring residential properties. Since the hours of operation are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., the business will only be operating 3 to 5 days a week. The applicant expects to serve 3 customers per day, and the business would be operating in a pre-existing structure. The applicant is not proposing any signs or commercial vehicles related to the home occupation. Public and private agencies. The City of Scappoose City Manager, Police Chief, Public Works Director, Columbia County Building Official, and Scappoose Rural Fire Protection District have been provided an opportunity to review and comment on the proposal through a land use application referral. Public Works Director stated that they have no objection to this application's approval as submitted and did not provide any further comment. The Columbia County Building Official provided a comment on May 12, 2023, which is on file as Exhibit 6, stating that the building department will require building permits if any new structural, plumbing, or mechanical work takes place. This has been included within the recommended conditions of approval. Notice of the application was mailed to property owners within 300 feet of the subject site on May 4th, 2023. Notice was also posted on the property on May 11th, 2023, and published in the local newspaper on May 12th, 2023. As of the date of this report, there have been no comments made by nearby property owners entitled to notice, nor have there been at the time of this hearing. Moving to the findings of fact, staff's findings related to Scappoose Development Code, Chapter 17.44, R1 Low Density Residential can be found on pages 9 and 10. Chapter 17.130, Conditional Use, pages 10 and 11. Chapter 17.142, Home Occupations, pages 11 through 14. Chapter 17.162, Procedures for Decision-Making Quasi-Judicial, pages 14 and 15. And now, based on the findings of fact and materials submitted by the applicant, staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve home occupation 5-23, subject to the conditions of approval listed on page 15. For this application, staff is recommending 6 conditions of approval with a mix of standard conditions we recommend for all type 2 home occupation applications, and then a few related to this site and development specifically. That concludes staff's presentation of our findings, observations, and recommendation. This time I can take any questions that the commissioners have before we move into the applicant's presentation.
Commissioners have any questions of staff?
Nope.
I might have a question. Simply refers to on page 12, I guess it is. But, this question of approval, for the record, and just for the record. Approval is not transferable should the applicant sell the property, correct? In this case, they have just recently purchased property. The person before them had used that for that purpose. So they still have to come in front of the planning commission and to the city to make sure that this is done in a proper way.
Yeah, correct. So the approval is for this location. Likewise, if the applicants were to move to a new home, this approval would not go with them. It would
It's not
stay.
grandfathered in
It's
there.
not grandfathered in, no. For each location, we would have a new application, and for each new owner of the property or person using it, it would still need to be an approval in their name.
Okay. Any other questions I have, I'll wait for the applicant to reply to. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, thank you. Would the applicant care to come forward and present their case? State your name for the record and your address. And speak directly into the phone like I'm attempting.
Kirsten Dingman at 52455 52452 Southwest Jobin Lane, Scappoose 97056.
Thank you. Go ahead and tell us your story. Why do you want to open this up and do this?
So I've been a hairstylist for over 15 years and have always dreamed of having the opportunity to have my own individual salon to provide my services. My proposal is to have a one-chair salon in which I would work 3 days a week from 9 to 5 p.m. by appointment only. I would be seeing one client at a time and probably no more than 3 clients a day. My husband, Adam, and I have lived in Scappoose for 9 years. And we bought this house on Jobin Lane specifically because of the salon area. And as it was used as a hair salon in the past, because it has a separate entrance and driveway for customers, parking, and a separate bedroom. All of my equipment and supplies, the salon chair and the shampoo station would all be contained within the 170 square foot area. And the space currently meets and exceeds all of the requirements for an in-home facilities license with the Oregon Health Licensing Board of Cosmetology as well.
Okay. Anyone, any commissioner wish to ask any questions of the applicant?
I couldn't tell. I'm assuming that people are by the door.
That is correct.
Or rather than up the drive.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
I've not been by there in a while, but is there enough room for someone to pull in there and turn around?
Oh, yeah.
And then be able to get back up without having to back onto it?
I would say that the space could probably fit 4 or 5 vehicles.
So plenty of.
So I
room.
feel like there's plenty of room.
You're
Yeah.
Gonna have maybe longer curves.
No.
Just know this kind of seems like a blind curve right there. Coming down.
And we did add a condition that requires them to provide site distance. And so they did, I believe you already did trim down some shrubbery kind of near that driveway entrance for that reason.
That went my next question.
There you go.
And those are in pictures as Exhibit 5.
Yeah, I. Yeah, hard to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I was reading it on my phone.
I heard that.
I didn't see this till tonight.
Okay, any other questions? Well, I have one thing here. It's small, but it's a question. The way this was presented on page 12 or page 5, page 12 of our other application here. But it's down here in regards to packages being delivered under the findings. It was written down as the applicant does not expect any package deliveries related to the proposed home. However, the applicant did say little or no packaging or something like that. So I want to make that clear, that it's possible somebody should show up like FedEx or UPS. Is that correct?
Yes, I go into town personally to get my supplies and bring them. I transport them myself, so I wouldn't be getting like any large number of supplies, but maybe once every couple months I might order a small weird thing,
Okay.
yeah, related to the business.
Okay. Kind of assuming that, but I want to make sure that was clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
I,
it looks like you say that you don't really have anything that it's chemical really in nature, so there's no issues we have to worry about disposable of chemicals in
No.
your home.
No.
The only questions I have,
Scott had something.
Scott, where are you at? I see no Scott.
I
up there.
am sitting
Oh,
at
there
my
you are.
computer. Just habit to turn stuff off when I'm not speaking. Yeah, I just wanted to comment that I think the criteria piece that you were speaking to is deliveries are not part of the day-to-day operation. Like, it's not like she's making something and shipping stuff out every day. So occasional use, like we got already discussed, is perfectly fine.
Right.
But it's the business does not use regular deliveries.
And if you're not aware, she's acknowledging that with a head shake. Okay. Let me just, well, I'll add that when we have our deliberations. I have another comment, but that'll be during deliberations, so. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Are there any opponents? See none. And there's none of the neighbors have said anything at all. Okay, staff, do you have anything else to add to her comments?
This is a pretty straightforward application as far as staff's concerned. They meet or exceed all of the relevant criteria that we look at. Obviously, this is a much shorter staff report than most, so it's pretty straightforward.
Right. Any other questions by the planning commissioners? Chance. Okay. Go ahead and close the hearing then for deliberations. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm open for deliberations. Anybody wants to deliberate? No? No? Anybody out there need to say anything?
No, it's all pretty straightforward.
I
No
will-
questions.
My only comment will be, having done this for several years, is that we had these come from time to time, and I've never seen a big issue out of it ever.
Yeah.
The neighbors or anybody else have never really found that as a big problem. So this works fine for them in their home, so I would see no problem with it. Okay, well, is there a motion?
I move that we approve this, docket, show 5-20.
Bruce, can you speak into the mic a bit more?
Hello.
Excellent, thank you.
I move that we approve this docket number HO 5-23.
As opposed?
Business.
Yeah. All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made, motion seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Anybody out there?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. I know it's strange out there, Scott, but, yeah, okay. Okay, well, with that, then I say we can move forward. It's approved. Start your business.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we'll start, what was this meeting start time deliberation? Oh, I know what that was. That was, we were talking about whether it's 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock,
Yeah.
like we have it now, or moving it earlier.
Right. So we don't have all the commissioners here tonight, once again.
Rita's
so-
not here now, right?
Rita's not here. Rita had expressed a little concern about moving the meeting time to 6 PM.
I would too,
Um,
probably.
Okay. But Marissa's here tonight, and she is initially who brought this forward as a topic for discussion last fall. But again, we had already had some public noticing out, so we wanted to just wait until this year to discuss it. And so she is with us tonight. Open discussion for the commissioners to talk through this. You do have the right, according to the municipal code, to set the meeting time.
Right.
So
Okay.
it would require a motion and a majority vote to change the time.
So I guess we're just opening this to discussion where our thoughts are on the whole thing. The only thing I can say is I've been doing this for a long time. We've been using this. It works fine, but the issue is if you're working during the day, it's kind of a rush if you're going to get here early. Because most people by 5 o'clock, they're still at work and closing down. If they have any traffic issues or whatever, they're going to have a problem. That's where my biggest concern would be, is people coming in late or trying to struggle to get here in a timely fashion. That's my only input on that.
As a short timer. Um, I don't have a negative opinion of changing to 6 o'clock, but I live and work in the
Right.
city
Right.
and get off at 4 o'clock. So it wouldn't affect me. So it really, I wouldn't vote yay or nay,
Mhm.
but I could understand the makeup of commission wanting to set that, and I would leave it to the others to vote,
That's fair.
what way, because if they're driving from Portland or whatever, even one person
Right.
Becomes a issue.
becomes an issue.
And not just as the commissioners, but also the people who are actually making their presentations here. A lot of them are out of town. A lot of them are professionals. They're from Portland or they're from other areas. So they have that issue of trying to get here in a timely way too.
Well, and they probably won't understand how the traffic gets during rush hour here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, for my sake, I'd prefer to leave it at 7. That's, it's pretty common for city meetings, but also for just public meetings in general. 6 can work, but I know that, or I don't know, but I expect I'll be one of those having the challenge to get there at 6 with work scheduling.
I didn't even realize this was still being discussed. I thought this was already put to bed several months ago. So, yeah, that's fine. I hear the majority wants to keep it at 7. That's fine. So no additional commentary needed on my end.
Okay. We could
Okay.
move it to 8 too.
No, I'm
No.
not in favor of that.
Saturdays.
You can meet yourself then.
Yeah. Thanks, Marissa. All right. Well,
All
that's
right.
done.
Okay, that discussion is done. Team agreement. I saw that floating around here.
Yeah, it was in your packet. So again, this is
Sure it is.
for the benefit of those who have not seen this before. Typically, this is something that is adopted yearly. We did get a little off track during the COVID years. And so we'll get moved back to, once we adopt this one, to doing it yearly again. But anyway, each of our city committees and even city council adopts a team agreement each year. In our case, it lays out the expectations for conducting planning commission meetings, the conduct for individual planning commissioners, and what you're committing to as a whole as the planning commission. And so, each committee's language might be slightly different and applies to the work that they do. This particular team agreement is most closely aligned with council's team agreement. A lot of the language is very similar. But once you've each read through this and staff has addressed any questions you have, then we would entertain a motion to adopt the agreement. Happy to answer any questions that anyone has.
Are we going to make a decision as far as the commission tonight, as far as we have?
Again, we don't have everyone here, but we do have the majority of members. And so, if you all vote to adopt tonight, we would just ask the other committee members when they're here next to sign. Rita's seen this before for sure. I believe, was Ty here last time we went over it? Ty wasn't here last time we went over it. I'd be happy to talk through it with him. But again, this is
In our alternate.
our alternate.
Well, I think we could probably go ahead. I mean, if everybody's had an opportunity to review this, if they haven't and are not comfortable with it tonight, we can always put that off. But what is the general feeling of the commissioners?
I gave my input last time. That's been incorporated. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine with the document as it is.
Okay, well, I agree. And, goes to the point I made earlier. It says adjourn meetings by 9 PM. So starting a meeting at 8 probably wouldn't work too well.
Not really. And it's every effort will be made. Obviously we blew way past that last fall with our big hearing. And that is at the direction of the chair. And given everything we had to get through, I understood that decision. That being said, obviously we all like to be done by 9, and I would say most of the time we are.
Aspirational.
Yeah.
Well, if everybody agrees, and it sounds like they are, willing to, consider a motion to go ahead and adopt this.
I'll move that we adopt the 2023 team agreement for the Planning Commission as presented.
Right. Second,
Second.
May, second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Sounds like it's done. Good for this year. And I imagine what'll happen is this will flow around, like you'll get our signatures on it later. All right. So now we're in 6.0, which is communications. And so we do a calendar check, 6.1. Take a look at the calendar. We're still in May. We got the 27th Farmers Market. And then Memorial Day, folks. It's here, the 29th. So all city offices are closed. Have fun. And then on the 30th, we have the 50-year plan stakeholder advisory at 6 PM. So I take it we're invited to show up at 6 PM.
Of course, you're always invited.
On June, Farmers Market again on Saturday the 3rd. And the 5th, we have a council work session at 6 PM and a council meeting at 7. There's no planning commission meeting on the 8th. Farmers Market again on the 10th. And then on the 15th, which is Thursday, we have an EDC meeting, Economic Development. And that's at noon. And then for people who are in the Parks and Recs Committee, they'll be at 6 PM on that day. Farmers Market again on the 17th. Council meeting again will be on the 6 PM, not 7 PM. So that means that they want to get into something early. fast.
We're adopting all of our budget that night, so.
And they need the extra time, yeah. A planning commission meeting is planned on 7 PM, and I'm sure you'll let us know about that in a second or two here. And then the farmer's market again on the 24th, and that is it for the calendar check. So any commission comments? Straightforward meeting tonight, not a problem. Everybody's gone.
The mayor snuck
Scott,
out.
get better, take care of your back.
Thanks.
Appreciate you giving me the opportunity to serve.
I'm happy to give you the opportunity. It was my pleasure.
Okay, get better. Anyway, next week I won't have to worry about it or whenever. Well, actually won't be next week, but when we finally get around to having a meeting. Okay, well, anybody else have any comments? If not, the staff? No? Okay, staff?
Right.
What do we got coming down the
A few
pike?
things. Well, so June 22nd is Huser subdivision. So that will be coming to you, June 22nd. And then just a couple updates. Let's see, Chris and I went out today to the Peak Performance Gym that's about to open.
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah.
did our final engineering and planning inspections today. They're planning to open June 1st. They have a couple of things still to address, but not very many. And so they'll probably be able to make that schedule. So that is great. We also did a site inspection today, kind of checking up on some punch list items at the OMIC Additive Center, their second building.
Very good, yeah.
So looks like they're mostly done with that. They're waiting on a few easements that they need to record that require crazy amounts of review at very high levels because it's a university.
Oh, yeah.
So they're kind of getting through that portion of it. We did have an update on the Makesh apartment project, which was a 48 unit apartment project on the where the strawberry stand sets up each year. They did withdraw the application. So
Well, they withdrew that
they
application?
did withdraw the application, so that won't be moving forward at this time. They had mentioned that an investor pulled out, and so that's all we heard. Let's see, next, the 50-year plan is moving along nicely. There is a stakeholder advisory committee meeting next Tuesday night in this room at 6 PM. You're all welcome to attend. Would love to see some planning commissioners listen to that. So the next thing we'll be working on is we'll be looking at some development code recommendations for related to land use efficiency measures. So in other words, we are going to be looking at a urban growth boundary expansion as part of this process because we're seeing the need for that. The urban growth boundary is to have a 20-year land supply for housing and employment lands. And so since we can't show that we can meet that with our current UGB, we will have a need to expand. So part of doing that is looking at making sure you're using the land you do have as efficiently as possible. And the state will look to make sure that we've made some changes to make what we do have more efficient. So not a lot of changes because we did a heavy lift in 2017-18 last time we updated our housing needs analysis, but there are still some recommended changes, especially to the A1 zone, which is our high density residential zone, as well as just our multifamily that goes in commercial and expanded commercial. There's also some zone changes we might consider of lands that are already in city limits. And so those will be kind of just introduced initially. We're not going to get real deep into those, but it'll be an introduction to some of these concepts at that meeting. And then also introducing the concept of a UGB expansion and what that looks like and how we have to, there's a hierarchy of lands you can consider to bring into the UGB that the state sets out. And so Beth, our consultant, will be walking the committee through what some of those considerations are.
You just answered the question I was going to ask you.
Yeah, to introduce
Whether
that.
we have a consultant.
Yes, yes. So Beth Goodman with Echo Northwest will be here, as well as Heather with 3J. She will be going over the code amendments. And so the code work, as well as like the comp plan policy updates, recommendations, and then the UGB considerations, that's pretty much, we're going to be touching on that and working through that through the rest of this year. And so, you know, anytime that planning commissioners are available to attend those meetings would be great. If there's certain ones where I feel like it's really important, I might just see if we just invite you, and if you guys can be here, that's great. We could have the committee plus the planning commissioners just to be aware. So yeah, it's
Okay,
it's been a good process.
sounds fun.
Mm.
Anything else in staff?
Updates?
No, no additional comments.
All right, very
Lori,
good.
can I ask a question?
Sure.
When you talk about certain concepts are going to be introduced at the
Yeah.
50-year, and at what point in the process are the voting going, or the approvals going to
So,
take place with
yeah, that's
respect to those concepts?
That's a great question, Marissa. The committee will offer feedback. There haven't been any hard votes in the stakeholder advisory committee per se, and I don't know that it will. I don't know, unless there was something really contentious, I don't know that there would be voting within that advisory committee. They do provide feedback, which then the consultants consider and roll into kind of their recommendations. That then goes to the joint work sessions with council and planning commission to get their feedback as well. But as far as like hard decisions, voting, that's going to happen during the adoption hearings. That will come to planning commission first. They will make a recommendation to city council on that. And that we don't expect to occur until mid to late 2024. So we're still out a year or more.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for
You're
that. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. So, that's it?
I think that's it.
Okay, well, we're close to adjournment. Scott, do you want to take over or you want me to close this?
It's your meeting, man. Go for
Okay.
it.
Okay, 7-0 adjournment. All those in favor? I'm going to say we are adjourned.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you for
joining us
joining.
online.
Peace.